Hello, friends. You're probably wondering, what is David holding right now? I'm holding Apu Apustaja, the most used meme on the internet. But it's not just a meme coin. It's a community with real friends. Friends who have uncontrollable fun together. Friends who have unconditional love for each other. And friends who rally behind the frog 24/7. Because who would choose to win alone in life when you can win with all your friends?
Easy been a vibe, no rehearsing. Pepe still broke, yeah, that burden ain't worth it. Now I move smooth, money making while I sleep. They watch charts, I watch wealth grow deep. Peasy the wave, now they all wanna leap. Pepe in the drive-thru, still counting receipts. From the bottom, now I'm sitting on a throne. Told my mama, don't you worry, we been grown. Pepe clocking in, I just let the money grow. I make plays, press a button, then
Can you hear me now? Am I muted? I was talking that whole time. One in the chat if you can hear me. One in the chat if you can hear me. Can you hear me now? You guys should be able to hear me now, right? Wonderful. Let's act like that didn't happen. Good evening and welcome to the nightly recap powered by Gokhshtein News Network, your trusted source for politics, crypto, and everything in between that makes you question reality. Do you ever wake up, check the charts, and start touching on yourself, realizing how rich we're all going to be? Yeah, me too. I'm your host, Hotep Jesus. I'm taking over tonight. I'm taking the show over tonight. I just got a question. Why is Dave the only Jew that hasn't changed his name yet? That's what I want to know. Dave, you know you're supposed to change your name. You got two Jewish names, David and Gokhshtein. Just trying to figure out why the hell that happened. Anyway, I got a special guest that's going to be joining me tonight before I get fired. I got Langley Landy in the house. What up, Landy?
What's up, Hotep? It's good to see you, man.
It's good to see you. Good to see you. We had some interesting developments happening in America in the past few hours. The intern said it's a new era for American finance, which it's one hell of a headline. He's absolutely right. President Trump has now officially signed the Crypto Genius Act into law.
Yep.
This is a watershed moment in finance, a watershed moment in crypto, a watershed moment. I just want to use watershed because I heard a lot of white people say that, and I was just like, I don't even know what it means. It just sounds like it belongs there, a turning point, a pivotal turning point in all of our lives. To me, Landy, I don't want to get into conspiracy stuff. I'm sick of that. To me, this just means my bags pump. Am I wrong for having those type of emotions, watching Bitcoin go up and French kiss 120K? Am I wrong for feeling like a pure capitalist?
No, you're absolutely not wrong. This
Okay,
is
good.
this was inevitable on the Bitcoin side of things, and I'm actually happy that the Genius Act passed. So
You're happy.
I'm happy
Why are you happy, sir?
because I think that this is the dawn of a one-to-one backed treasury to USD issuance that's going to start to occur and cannibalize the fractional reserve system.
Cannibalize the fractional reserve system? Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down there, Landy. Slow down there, Landy. You're jumping out the window. You're gonna have to extrapolate that point.
Well, I've talked to you about turnings. We've spoken about this before, and we know that the path that the current monetary systems are on are it's on a path to destruction, right? And you can either have destruction that leads to revolution, and a new system is born upon that, or you can collapse one system into another. And I think that that's what we're beginning to see is the efforts to get the Genius Bill or Genius Act passed is so that we can begin to move from the old system into the new system. The fractional reserve system was going to fall apart and will fall apart no matter what over the long run. So you have to put your hedge in place and start moving things over. And I think that this is the vector to do that. I think it's one of a few vectors, but I think this is the major vector to do that, because if you want to issue a stable coin, well, you've got to back it 1-to-1 with treasury assets now.
A few years ago, I was talking about stable coins. I saw the inflows coming in. I'm like, wait a second, hold on. This looks like establishing dollar dominance. And so I ran to the timeline a couple of years back and I typed and I said, stable coins are going to establish, or I should say, reassure dollar dominance globally. And a lot of people jumped in my mentions like, oh, you're an idiot. You're just a black nigger. You don't know what you're talking about. You can't read. You got an 80 IQ. And now,
Who the fuck is saying that?
this is what they told me. As a black guy, in finance, in crypto and all of that, I'm not supposed to be smart. I'm not supposed to think and outside of the box, right? But when I had this, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm inside the box. I don't think this is out. This should be like common sense. I thought, am I wrong in thinking that stable coins are assuring dollar dominance?
You're absolutely not wrong. And this is a really interesting topic. And I've been exploring this topic and formulating my views about this as we've seen dollar dominance fall, Dixie falling off the map and getting a little bit of a rebound. But you look at dollar dominance and the DXY, it's falling pretty aggressively and has been. And I think that with rates and the Fed and rate cuts and them being the buyer of last resort, when demand for treasuries falls, and that buyer of last resort, when I say that, I'm talking about, ending QT, moving into balance sheet expansion, and then that always results in quantitative easing or a policy of buying tranches of treasuries. And now you have the Genius Act, which is a vector for treasury buys. So it's a vector for demand, right? And as we see the dollar fall in conjunction with the primary economic policy that we've seen as of late being shrinking the trade deficit, if you have a cheaper dollar, it's easier to export goods from the United States to other countries, right? And I believe you've touched on this before, in fact. And here's where works out really well for negotiations between nations. So Trump says, I want to shrink the trade deficit, which we want you to open your market to our goods and services for import. And if there's a cheaper dollar, it's much easier for them to do so. Trade out of their currency into the dollar. Then we can start exporting goods. So they're importing more of our goods. And while we might be getting a little bit of an uptick on the other side for goods that we import from those countries, we're shrinking that trade deficit, which benefits our economy and it exports the dollar. And the dollar, once infiltrated, will always dominate because they're going to have to keep trading out of their currency into the dollar. And then now you have a vector for bond demand. You have a vector for trade. And then you have the entirety, and this is how China did this, by the way. They had a really cheap currency, so it was very attractive for companies to invest in China and then build out in China and import back to the United States. Well, we're just doing the reverse of that so that we can become the dominant player that we once were in this game. And we'll win it, by the way.
Well, thank you for white-splaining that to me.
Well, you know this. I don't know if the audience knows this, right?
What you described was something that I researched called the Marshall Lerner principle. I try to explain it to people, and they just told me, hey, I don't know what I'm talking about. I was like, all right, you got it, buddy. I'm going to stay out of your way. Real quick, shout out to Leslie. Leslie broke up with me today. It's the first time I got to do the show.
Shout out to Leslie.
Love you, Leslie. Leslie, I miss you. Take me back, please.
Mara's so happy right now.
Leslie, we miss you. I used to come on this show and there would be breasts in my face. And now I have Landy, the whitest
Just
white man on earth.
Just a literal puppet. Langley Landy. How fitting.
Now I'm here with a puppet. It's a sad day of my life. I had the smooth Latina, and now I got the puppet as a white guy. We are definitely going backwards here. A clear message from the White House. President Trump says crypto is only going further under his administration, adding, "You're going to do very well." Now, back in early 2024, I told them to go out and vote. Go out and vote for Donald Trump, okay? And make sure you cast a vote for me because I can't vote. And that's just because I'm too lazy to. But I didn't vote. But I created a lot of voters, so I feel like somewhere in there, is my vote, okay? If I push people to go vote for Trump and I convince some minds, I did my job, and a lot of people have been hard on Trump, broken promises, new wars, or whatever the hell they got going on. And I said, the only thing I need Donald Trump to do is make me richer, okay? He's a businessman. That's the only thing I needed him to do was make me richer. I don't care about, the Diddy files or anything like that, okay? I came for my crypto bags to pump. My crypto bags pumped, my AI bags pumped. I'm a happy camper. Okay. So this is a claim that he says you're going to do very well. Landy, are you doing very well under Trump?
Yes, I am. In fact, and more than just crypto, but the crypto side has been fantastic, obviously. But just the markets in general been great, and we even got a beautiful buying opportunity in the midst of all of this for 2 months. So yeah, it's been wonderful.
Oh, yes. Not enough buying opportunities for me. I was hoping we'd go to war. The war what was it like a 2-minute war? It was like Trump came out and said, yeah, this is the 2-minute war. And I'm like, hey, man, I needed this war to last all summer so I could just keep DCAing down. And then the war ended. I'm like, what kind of this isn't a war. This was a paintball skirmish. We flew some big ass black jets, 2 of them. One of them had a chick in it. How do you win a war with a chick in a plane? That is just in a Muslim country. Imagine you defeat and crush a Muslim country with a woman behind the wheel. That's disrespectful. That is just straight disrespect, So I'm just upset that we didn't.
How fitting, though.
It's how fitting is that?
It is. It is like it's like it's kind of the ultimate troll, right? Is to just
It is the ultimate troll. Like, you know what? Karen, yeah, you're flying. Me, really, me? Yeah, the plane flies itself. You don't really have to do much. Just sit there, and when you come back, take some pictures, and everything will be fine. You know, you're the DEI pilot for this mission. Just sit in the cockpit and just, just fly over, fly back. You can take a nap. You can bring your crossword puzzles with you. It's no problem. She's in the sky doing Sudoku and whatnot. And, she flies over. The plane does it on its own. And she flies back and goes, "Hey, guys, was that good?" "Yeah, you did good, Karen. Now sit down somewhere." This is disrespectful. Strength behind the digital shift. The digital shift I missed was this digital shift from Leslie. Leslie, we miss you. President Trump said crypto has strengthened the dollar by making it more powerful and resilient, benefiting both the currency and the country. That is true. We covered that already. I think Landy did a great job explaining that. And it says here, momentum that can't be ignored. President Trump highlighted that crypto has risen more than any stock. Well, I don't know about that. Is that true, Landy? Because I'm pretty sure the most valuable company in the world right now is NVIDIA. Although they do benefit a lot from crypto and crypto mining, has crypto risen more than any stock? Like, first of all, I know President Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. He's pretty old. Barron runs his Bitcoin account. He doesn't know anything. But to say,
wallets.
yeah, like he's comparing crypto to just a single wallet. Is there any truth to that?
Well, I mean, I can actually take a look. So since if we look at NVIDIA since its inception,
The answer is no, Landy. The answer is no. But Bitcoin has had great returns. Great returns. I like the Fed coin. I call XRP the Fed coin. I'm pretty sure Landy is somewhere in Langley controlling XRP. That's why my bags are so big. I don't know who's behind XRP, but they've got some crazy connections. And so I've seen XRP. Ethereum's moving. What the hell is behind the Ethereum move?
Well, the Ethereum move is driven by institutional investors right now. They've been accumulating Ethereum for quite some time. And then, there's the Genius Act. I mean, that's a vector for a lot of these players that want to, issue stable coins. They're going to Ethereum first. And that's what we're seeing. There's going to be some other deals with other networks, I imagine. But, when you have JP Morgan launching their JPMD stablecoin on base layer 2 Ethereum and then offering that to institutional clients, and that's all you really need to know. They're going to get a lot that follow. It's also a little bit easier right now. If they wanted to spin that off into their own chain, they could do it on Ethereum easier than they could on some other networks at this particular moment in time. So I think that's one of the major drivers behind it. And to answer your question from just a moment ago, Bitcoin itself is up 112,000% since inception. NVIDIA is up 522,000%. So it's not actually maybe crypto in aggregate has risen faster than the stock market or the totality of the stock market. When you start picking out specific stocks, there are some that have definitely outran since their inception. But NVIDIA's got 10 years on Bitcoin at this point. We'll see if Bitcoin catches up.
Well, thank you for being so thorough on that. I know you work for BlackRock, so you have very little time to share with us, but I'm glad you're able to give us that insight from the Illuminati. Transforming the future of payments. MasterCard said crypto stablecoins are enabling faster and lower cost cross-border payments. Now I was a bit scared because I like to invest in the credit guys, and I was like, am I safe investing in these guys because they're about to be replaced by crypto? Now, how's that working? I'm like, wait, it's like, this is lending. Okay, as long as they're lending, this should be fine. But I also saw that MasterCard and Visa were making moves. Discover was purchased by Capital One, and they are working on, crypto payment processing, et cetera, et cetera. So I think my money is safe with those guys for now. Do you see MasterCard, Visa, Amex, or any of you guys threatened by this new digital technology?
No, they have the rails. They'll just transition and use any digital version of a tokenized dollar product, and it's actually a pretty well. It will take them a little while to rev it up. What this is likely going to do is allow them to goose it. In fact, because now they're going to have to compete.
Wait, what? Wait, goose it. This is a white term. I'm not sure what
So
does that mean.
that means that they can actually potentially get a lot more clients back on board and issuing a lot more credit
Um,
because they can now offer an offset through stablecoin staking and like all this stuff. So you see all these high APRs and APYs that you're paying on the debt on credit cards. Well, if they want to wrangle that down, it's going to be easier for them to do so because once you're working with a digital version of the dollar, it can be staked on the back end. They're earning yield, and the issue is earning native yield. Plus, you can have ways in which you stake those dollars that you can allow them to offer lower rates, and then have them compete with each other again for more business. And there's many different vectors I believe that they're exploring right now in order to do that because rates are insane and many people are being crushed by credit card debt. But if you move it over and say, you pay extra over the top of what you owe, and we can stake this, and this brings your percentage for your credit card rate down, right? Because you can offset that. So now you can pay more. They might even open up options where if you pay more, it goes into a staking account that's earning 7% yield. And if you have 10% that you're paying to borrow, now it effectively over time can bring that down to a lower percentage value over time.
oh wow, yeah, that's pretty amazing.
That's
I
just
have
one idea.
I have somebody by the name of Apu. Apu wants to speak to the audience.
Hello,
All right.
friends. You're probably wondering, what is David holding right now? I'm holding Apu Apustaja, the most used meme on the internet. But it's not just a meme coin, it's a community with real friends. Friends who have uncontrollable fun together. Friends who have unconditional love for each other. And friends who rally behind the frog 24/7. Because who would choose to win alone in life when you can win with all your friends?
Easy been a vibe, no rehearsing. Pepe still broke, yeah, that burden ain't worth it. Now I move smooth, money making while I sleep. They watch charts, I watch wealth grow deep. Peasy the wave, now they all wanna leap. Pepe in the drive-thru, still counting receipts. From the bottom, now I'm sitting on a throne. Told my mama, don't you worry, we been grown. Pepe clocking in, I just let the money grow. I make plays, press a button, then
Shout out Peasy, shout out Apu. That last commercial was rather ethnic. A traditional giant makes its move. Charles Schwab, the largest publicly traded U.S. brokerage with over $10 trillion in client assets, is set to launch Bitcoin and Ethereum trading services. Wow. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about this, Lanny, mostly because it feels like Johnny come lately. It's like, where you been, Charles? Where you been, Mr. Schwab? You mean Charles and Schwab are just now showing up to the party? Like, hey, bro, listen, the party been popping. We got the party popping. We got Gemini. We don't need you. Am I wrong for saying this? I know it's going to pump our bags. It's going to bring more liquidity in. My grandma is now going to have her investment guy call her up. Her investment broker is going to call her up. Hey, now it's safe to get in Bitcoin. I know I told you 10 years ago Bitcoin was a dangerous asset, but now it's up $200,000. So now is the time to buy. You shouldn't have bought at $10. You should have bought now at $200. Would you like to buy some Bitcoin now? So I just feel like they're a little late in the game. Am I wrong for having a little bit of salt and feeling just some type of way about this?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and of course they're going to be late to the game. And I think that you've already been able to buy spot. I think what this is going to open up is a wider set of services because they've already worked through. Now this is much like Robinhood, who was using Apex as a clearinghouse for crypto, and now they do it themselves. This is essentially a lot of these companies moving to do it themselves instead of using third-party clearinghouses,
Oh.
and then they can offer more services, right?
Oh. Interesting. Okay. All right. Is there anything more? Because you don't know what you don't know. So is there some more you need to unpack there, or is that it?
Not really. I mean,
Okay.
we have to see what they actually come out with for
Right.
product, and what clients they're aiming this at.
Right.
Who's
Is
going to
this
be their.
retail? Is this
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Good question. Legacy Finance enters the game. Jack Dorsey, man, I miss Jack, man. Bring back Jack. Jack Dorsey's block is set to join the S&P 500 with 8,584 Bitcoin currently held on its balance sheet. Who are they replacing? I know the last one. Who was the last one that got added? Coinbase just got added to the S&P 500
Hmm.
because Discover Financial got gobbled up by Capital One. So
Yeah.
are you familiar with who's dropping out the S&P 500, who they're replacing?
I actually don't know. I don't know the
Okay.
answer to that right now.
Man, this is good news for Jack Dorsey.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and the Bitcoin treasury company model continues to pick up speed. We're gonna be talking about this a lot.
Yeah, my company actually has a Bitcoin treasury.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and you have a business, right?
Yeah.
And my contention is the Bitcoin treasury companies, a lot of them that do not have a business and are just Bitcoin treasury companies to be a Bitcoin treasury company to save their asses from failing. Well, now they got to compete. They got to compete with all these businesses that are Bitcoin treasury companies as well. So, I think that that's actually a much longer conversation, maybe for another day. But I think that that's actually what brings about the next bear market is all these companies trying to save their asses and unable to compete, that then have to liquidate their treasuries. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Still watching it, and it's very, very early stages. Not even the tip of the iceberg. The iceberg's still underwater.
Yeah. 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 This is great. I can't remember who Block. I think they have several corporations that they've acquired or launched.
Yes.
Are you familiar with what is it? Bitch ass. He's got a new app. Jack Dorsey has a new app. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah. Well, the newest apps. No, I mean
Bitch
I'm
at.
familiar with.
Bitch at. You see? Did you see Bitch at?
Oh, the Bluetooth thing.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 I heard about it. Yeah. Is it actually
Yo,
up and running?
it's up and running, bro.
Ooh.
I like it. I really like it. I haven't had a chance to play with it yet. I think it was maybe, last week or the week before. It was in test flight. Let me check the app store now and see if bitch ass is on the. Let me see if it's on the app store because test flight. I think they had a limit of 10,000 users, and I thought this. I know there's an open source version on Google on the what do they call the is an iPhone, then there's the bootleg phones. What do they call the Samsung phones? Oh yeah, Android. Yeah, you got the
The bootleg phones. I was about to say like the S21, like the like, hold on. He said Android. Yo, shots fired.
I have both. I have both. I do use both. My company phone is an Android. I like the Android. I like the Fold. Did you see the new Fold? They got the new Fold and they got the new
Mhm.
Flip. Did you see those?
Yeah, yeah. The new Fold, they made it a lot
Lot
thinner.
thinner.
Yeah. And the actual crease in the screen is not as pronounced now. And then the Fold, they made the front, the entire screen. They expanded that screen all the way across the front now, so it's a little bit more usable. I
Yeah.
like what they're doing. It's the battery. I really wish they could have gotten that battery increased because they, some of these Chinese companies, they're already putting some of these bigger batteries in phones that are just as thin, and Samsung kind of stagnated there for a little bit. So we'll see, we'll see what's coming next. But I do like, man, they are nice looking.
My beef with the Android community is they like to say that iPhone copies them. And the fact of the matter is, no, that's not true. Steve Jobs brought you guys the smartphone. iPhone came from Apple. That was the first smartphone. Without him, you'd still be pressing buttons on a BlackBerry. Okay? So let's be clear. Android copied iOS. Okay? Now you guys can go argue about that in the chat.
Yeah, they will argue about that in the chat for real. You think politics is bad, man? Start talking about your favorite phone or your favorite sports team, and it starts to get raucous.
Shout out graphics guy Renee. I rag on him all the time. We fight all the time over the iPhone. We go to battle over Solana. We go to battle over iPhone. He thinks jiu-jitsu is equivalent to chess. But I love triggering the Android people. It's fun. Mostly, why I really like triggering them? Because secretly I'm in my room watching YouTube on my Android. I'm like, oh, I love my Fold. I love this. This thing is amazing.
You're trolling them from an Android device about Android.
Android is trash. iPhone is better directly from my Android. The most fun ever.
Logged in through a Gmail account.
Definitely logged in through a Gmail account. And you just watch them just squirm in your chat, and you're like, oh wow, this is fun. A legal battle with big implications. President Trump is suing the Wall Street Journal, News Corp, and Rupert Murdoch over their reporting on the Epstein letter. And man, how old is Rupert Murdoch? He got to be like 200 years old. I don't even know he's still alive.
He's on ice. They're just keeping him alive.
Hold on. We got to go to the Googles. Let me ask the Google demons. Oh, my God. Look at this guy. This guy is how old is he? Google demons. How old is he? How old is this old fart? He's got to be 185, 94 years old.
Damn.
Oh my God. Born March 11th, 1931. Oh my goodness. He was right there in the middle of, between World War I and World War II. Wow. Wow. So he came about like right after communism was really starting to get kicked off. 1931. He was basically born in the Great Depression. What were the years of the Great Depression? Great Depression was
talking the late 20s into 30s, early 30s.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is late
born like right around the end of it.
Lasted from 1929 to 1931. So smack dab in the middle. So he survives the Great Depression as a young boy. He was probably eating bread off the bread line. What country was he born in? Let me see. Well, married Elena Zukova, a retired molecular biologist. Oh, that's why he's still alive. His wife's a molecular biologist. Oh, okay. He's probably got missing kidneys, used to keep him alive or something like that.
Oh no. Is this about that we got from a source through another source that told us that they saw it on the back of a napkin that Trump wrote a birthday letter? Is that what he's suing him over?
I'm sorry.
That's what it's about.
He was born in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. I just want to see that. Wait, what'd you say? What was your question, sir?
So is the lawsuit, is this about the Epstein birthday letter thing, the fake birthday letter thing?
I don't know. The intern put this in a report. You think I'm supposed to know about this stuff? You're the white guy here. You're supposed to know. You're supposed to be the 120 IQ guy. I just come and tap dance. Like, you got to do your job, bro. What do you mean? You're asking me? Let's see. Epstein letter. Let's ask the AI demons, because I got a friend. He swears Trump lawsuit. I got a friend. He swears there's demons inside the artificial intelligence, and I'm just gonna go ahead and believe him. You know, I just I just want to be on the safe side. So every time I use it, I'm just cognizant of the fact that a demon might pop out of this one day. I'm just ready to just drop kick his ass. Let's see. U.S. President Donald Trump filed a lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal. Blah 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 blah. July. Wow, this is today.
Mhm.
Wow. The lawsuit
10 billion.
accuses the journal and its owners of defamation and seeks $10 billion in damages. Wow. Says the letter, the Wall Street Journal reported reviewing a letter allegedly sent by Trump to Epstein for his 50th birthday in 2003. It was part of a birthday album compiled by Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's associate. The letter, as described by Wall Street Journal, contained several lines of typewritten text framed by an outline of a naked woman, seemingly hand-drawn, with Trump's signature below the woman's wrist. The letter reportedly ended with "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." So
That sounds made up as hell.
yeah, we gonna have to go to the next story. This sounds creepy as hell. What the hell? They drawing naked women and whatnot. What the heck is going on? Yeah, the only woman I want to see naked is Leslie. What up, Leslie? How you doing, baby? Leslie's in the chat. Hey, W's in the chat for Leslie. W's in the chat for Leslie, please and thank you. W's in the chat for Leslie. Pressure mounts for full disclosure. The Trump administration has officially filed a court motion to unseal the Epstein grand jury testimony files. Whoa.
Yep.
Landy, I think this is bigger than getting the files off of Peg Bundy's desk.
Yo, I had something to say, and you just threw me right off.
You gotta be sharp, Landy. You gotta stay with me, Landy.
Yo,
What happened?
Yo,
What happened?
oh man. All right, so I actually think I agree with you. I think that this is way bigger because they've had so many years to cook any intelligence that they've gathered on this through the FBI, the DNI, and all the different agencies, right? To file like specific reports and frame it in a certain way. And realistically, it means nothing what their assessments are and what they've compiled, but what is the actual testimony? Where's the evidence? And I think that everybody just got psyoped again. I think that one of the craziest things about this is all of the mainstream media did not want to talk about and were denying the existence. And you can see all the different clips that people are putting together just as recently as the election about Epstein. Like, it's not even a big issue. There's nothing there. He's dead. Ghislaine's in prison. They didn't have enough evidence to find anything. We're never going to see it anyway. It doesn't matter. And now the mainstream media is calling for a list of some sort, right? And they've never been on that side. They've got everybody, all the different lefty influencers calling for it. And it's because Donald Trump's on it and all this, which is nonsense. They would have used that if he really was. He never would have been in office or even close to getting into office if he was on any of that. They would have just used it.
Exactly.
But they spent, and they knew that Trump ran on this. So you just cook up a time bomb for him, let him run face first into a brick wall on this issue. And so Trump makes a big deal about it, gets everybody whipped up on both sides. And then here comes the bomb drop of, no, we're gonna unseal the grand jury testimony. That is massive. Now we actually have to see it happen, though.
Now we have to actually see it happen. I'm not sure if this needs to be court approved. Actually, yeah, I guess it's just a motion to unseal. So I guess it still has to get approved by a judge, which takes it off of Trump's shoulders. I think I don't like the whole Epstein list thing. We have a bunch of people saying, they want the Epstein list. And I'm like, y'all know you could just go on the internet and you can access the black book, the black book That is freely available. You can go on Yandex. I suggest using Yandex. That is the Russian search engine. You go on there, you can just find, okay, use your Boolean operators, and you can find a black book unredacted. Did you know that? You can find
Yep.
So that exists already. You have access to that. So don't listen to these influencers who talking about we want the Epstein, we want the client list. We have the client list. Okay. We've got it.
And even better, we have it also from the 2008 trial. So we could just, I mean, people act like it's new or it just came around. And it's like, you do realize like this is going all the way back to like 08, 09. Like, where you been? Thanks for jumping on the train now.
Now, 2:25, you know what I'm saying? Fourth quarter, 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You want to hop in the game talking about if you don't sit back on the bench with your dumb ass, they just can't see that this is a huge psyop designed to discredit Trump. This is, who loses here is us, the American people. Who loses the most here is the populist movement. MAGA was supposed to be the premier populist movement. That's what it was supposed to be. And you can see them slowly try to grind away and disintegrate the populist movement. And even with Elon's move, try to splinter it and create a lot of confusion and discredit Trump and destroy trust in Trump. And I hate to see that happen, especially from the influencer class who built followings, made millions of dollars from donors and sponsors making pro-Trump content. And now it's not cool all of a sudden, and they just throw them under the bus. You disloyal. You lucky I just started the show. I'd use some really unfiltered language.
Let me actually address David here. Trump was pushing it, not the people. No, the people were pushing it, which is why Trump started to integrate it into his platform when he was running. Because we've been pushing this for years and years and years and years. Right in his first run, we were pushing for this stuff.
Landy, I got to cut you off. I challenged everyone. I said, can somebody find me a video that shows Trump saying he's going to go get the files? I still haven't. Now, I'm almost certain that somebody can produce something, but I have not seen it yet. I have not seen it. I did a search for myself, and I found a Lex Friedman interview from 10 months ago, a clip, and Lex Friedman asked Trump about the Epstein files, and Trump is like, yeah, I'll look into it. You know what? When a white man says he's going to look into it, that means he's definitely not going to look into it. So he said, I'll look into it. And then what happened? He switched subjects. He said, what's actually more interesting is the JFK files. And I was like, that's a good point, Trump. What you think you can get the Epstein files? You couldn't get the files from the 50s. Right. Yeah. So how, like, where are we at? That was 75 years ago. Where are we at? But, he talked about it, but I think it was prompted. It wasn't like he brought it up on his own. It was always prompted. And Trump doesn't shy away when it's prompted.
The people calling directly for a list to be released were people who would share the stage. He did make the only references that he's ever really made during the campaign was, oh, where is that list? Just kind of like, I wonder who would be on it. Like it's talking around it, never directly calling for it, but obviously people coming up to speak at those events were calling for it directly in his circle. So I think that what we have now is that being associated to him directly calling for the list. Quite frankly, I think we're getting a bonus off the back of this. And I'd argue, David, because he seems to still have a sore spot on this, I'd argue that this entire thing has been a psyop. I'd even argue that the whole Elon thing, again, and him bringing it up as part of it. And the reason why is, how do you have Elon and Trump fighting one day on the timeline? Very next day, the Trump administration brokers a deal to get Elon an AI contract with the Department of Defense for $200 million. I mean, come on. Come on. And then Trump is dominating headlines, and his administration is dominating headlines the entire time. All they want to talk about is the Epstein list. Meanwhile, deals are getting done behind the scenes. And now all of a sudden this bomb drops and they don't know what to do with the news. Have you seen the news? They don't know how to take it. They're like, what do you mean unsealed grand jury testimony? What are you talking about? We just want a list. Well, now they're all freaking out. I wonder what's going to be revealed.
David, I trust you. I believe you. You say he spoke about it. I trust and I believe you. And I believe everybody that says this. I just want somebody to produce the video so I can show people, okay, here's what he said. I want to see it for myself, my own peace of mind. I need a link to the video. That's all I need. I just want the link to the video so that I can assess. Because every time I see him talk about it, he's kind of like really nonchalant about it. Like, oh, you asked about the Epstein files again? Okay, yeah, I'll release them. Yeah, sure, whatever. It just looks very unenthusiastic about it. You know, that's what it seems like to me. Is that the real David Gokhshtein in the chat? Or he got a troll?
It's saying he's going to vote for Joel Stein in 2028. That might be intern behind David's account at this point. I don't know.
Oh, is that who that is?
Will the real David please stand up?
Jill Stein. That's not it. That's definitely not the move. I gotta tell you, voting for a woman, what, in 2025? That's gonna be a problem once a month.
Oh man. Wait, what about Tulsi?
Can I get? Come on, man! You cutting the headlines. I was gonna get to that, man.
Oh. No. I mean, what if she ran? Hold on. What if she ran for president?
Well, Tulsi's not technically. Tulsi's not a woman. She's an android.
She's Rogue from the X-Men, right?
She is, Android 18.
Oh man,
I met Tulsi Gabbard. We were on the Greg Gutfeld show together. And so I walked in the green room and Tulsi was there. She's getting her hair and makeup done and all that stuff. And then she comes out and she's like, hello, Hotep. She looks at me very serious. I'm just like, oh, shit. So I looked in her eye. And I don't know if you ever seen Terminator when the mask comes off and they got that red eye. Both her eyes lit up red. And I'm like, oh, shit. It's the Terminator. So I was scared at this point. So I went to go shake her hand. Okay, she shook the shit out of my shit, broke my fucking hand backstage. Greg Gutfeld had to wear a cast for a week. Strong ass woman. She's not human. She's an android. And that's why she's so sharp. Like when I was on that show with her, I was just like, oh my God, is she like, does she have a brain chip with AI built into it? She's got like an anthropic AI brain chip or something like that. She's a sharp woman.
It's something DARPA Skunks Works has been cooking up for years.
Yes,
kind of advanced AI.
Yeah, I think Tulsi's an advanced AI. So I would vote for her. She is one of my mutuals. We do follow each other. Shout out to Tulsi. But I think the move she pulled today. Oh my God, this was. They playing 5D chess this week. First with the Epstein grand jury testimony. Like, oh, you mad at Trump? Oh, yeah? Watch this. Boom. How about these files? You want these files? These files are new. You can get these files. These files wasn't on Peg's desk. You ain't see these on Peg Bundy's desk. These files is new and fresh. You want these files? You can't even get these files. We got to ask a judge for these files. You got to get approved to get these files. So first they slap you with that. Then they come back around, they circle the block like a drive-by on the Democrats. And like, guess what? Barack Obama, get low. Start lighting his ass up. Now Barack Obama and Michelle got to get low because now his lawsuits stemming from the Steele dossier and some more shit. It is absolute pandemonium. My only issue is why they do this on Friday. They couldn't do this on a Monday so we could have grift off of it all week. This was $10,000 worth of content. They dropped it on the Friday, and it's like, damn, now I got to stream on Saturday. I would just want to take my kid to the soccer game, come home and read a little bit. Now I got to stream on a Saturday. It's crazy out here.
Yeah, it's man, but I kind of like the weekend to marinate on it. I know for content
Yeah.
purposes, but I kind of like the weekend for everyone to kind of catch up because there's a
Mm,
lot of news been hitting,
yeah.
and they're gonna come out the gates on Monday with
Monday.
something. Ooh,
Oh,
I mean,
Monday is good.
this is Barack Obama, James Clapper, John Brennan, James Comey, Susan Rice, John Kerry, Andrew McCabe,
Ugh.
Loretta Lynch,
Oh.
Jay Johnson.
Oh.
Ooh, they're all wrapped up in the look. We knew this shit. We've known this shit for years, but now there it is. Here's your confirmation. They've been talking about it, and now here it is for the public.
Man, this is you're right. You're right. So Monday is going to be absolute pandemonium on the timeline. So I guess I should probably just load my take clip up. I'm gonna load up my magazine full of takes and just unleash them all on Monday. What do we bet on? Is there a stock that I know they're probably printing meme coins right now on the Solana network, but
You got a ton of them already, yo.
it's probably 20,000 tokens right now.
I would say I'm all for the unsealing of charges money line bet on Polymarket right now.
Mm.
So
Poly market. Okay, the poly market is the play. Okay, that's good insight. Where are
yeah.
you at? Over or under?
Well, the way that she just dropped it as like these are already unsealed documents. Man, if DOJ comes out unseals charges, oh, that'd be such a just cherry on top. My over under is on a 2 week time frame. We start to see something come of this.
Okay, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Are there any stocks that may pump or dump
I'm
from
trying
this?
to think of what they're directly involved in. I don't
Because
know if this has any
generally,
effect on that.
generally politics does the markets react. So is the market on Monday? Are the investors are excited or are they bearish? Because you can make a play off of that.
I think this weekend, so in order for me to like really give a good answer on that, this weekend I'd have to see what they're invested in, what kind of board positions they have on different companies, and see if
Mhm.
and go stock by stock and see if there's some vector for that would maybe change the overall outlook. I mean, I'm looking at potential corrections for the market pretty soon anyway, but could that start? Could that kick it off? Narrative coincide with a correction that's already looking like it wants to get rolling? You know, I'm kind of up in the air on it. Market actually looks pretty strong. So I'd have to go stock by stock. I wouldn't have one right off the top for you.
I'm going ahead and saying, everyone, not financial advice, do your own research, not life advice, do your own research. I'm looking at a green Monday. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a green Monday. Today was pretty bloody. It was bloodier than a tampon today. I'm looking at a green Monday. Hold on a second. Apu's calling me.
Hello, friends. You're probably wondering, what is David holding right now? I'm holding Apu Apustaja, the most used meme on the internet. But it's not just a meme coin. It's a community with real friends. Friends who have uncontrollable fun together. Friends who have unconditional love for each other. And friends who rally behind the frog 24/7. Because who would choose to win alone in life when you can win with all your friends?
Easy been a vibe, no rehearsing. Pepe still broke, yeah, that burden ain't worth it. Now I move smooth, money making while I sleep. They watch charts, I watch wealth grow deep. Peasy the wave, now they all wanna leap. Pepe in the drive-thru, still counting receipts. From the bottom, now I'm sitting on a throne. Told my mama, don't you worry, we been grown. Pepe clocking in, I just let the money grow. I make plays, press a button, then
Landy, you do a lot of tits and ass, TNA, okay? On the charts and stuff like that. What are you seeing? What is our outlook? You said there's going to be a correction. What is this correction you're talking about here, sir? And when is it coming?
Well, in terms of date, it's more about structure. Traditional markets and by and large for SPY are in higher low structure. We had a little bit of a, bloody Friday, but it's still higher low structure kind of across the board for SPY and NASDAQ, and Dow is in a bit of a bullish correction right now. And Bitcoin leading the way here in terms of overall bias is, in a little bit of a swing downtrend. It's kind of a consolidation. Right now, there's criteria. If we see Bitcoin trading back above 121, we're looking for, a run back at the highs. And in crypto, if it starts trading below 115, 116 area, we're probably looking for a deeper correction. And in terms of time frame, we have to see kind of how, because it's 24/7 market for crypto, we got to see how that kind of evolves over the weekend, right? And as for traditional markets, the bids have been so strong for SPY and NASDAQ. It is really, really a beautiful thing. But at some point, these players are going to want to take profit, reposition as ARB trades start to get squeezed near the highs. And I think, if I'm looking at SPY right now, it's still got some juice left in it. So in terms of time frame, I'm looking probably a week to 2 weeks. We probably see maybe a little bit more of a correction in traditional markets, or at minimum a consolidation. That is kind of the look that it's being thrown off right now, which means that it could still make higher highs, but it might chop around a bit. Move's still not over. And in fact, now I'm looking at SPY and it's loading up for a move here shortly. So I think, yeah, it's loading up. In terms of volatility, we had a nice volatile move for new all-time highs. It's been chopping around the all-time highs. So it's either going to get another leg here pretty soon, or it's going to take a break and consolidate for a little bit, get a little bit of a correction in store locally. And then we'll see if it turns into something wider. We've got really low volatility at the highs here on the daily for NASDAQ, for SPY futures. I'm looking at same kind of look, really low volatility. So, with the Genius Act passing, with a lot of positive economic numbers that just came out, we could just very well see things just keep going from here to the upside. Mm-hmm. But at some point, the market participants that are going long and hedging, through CME, they have an arb trade that's going to get squeezed as things kind of consolidate. So they're going to have to readjust. They're either going to let the short side go and let things fly and then take shorts again, or they're going to let, the quote unquote spot side go, and let things ride down and reposition there. But right now it's kind of up in the air. It's a little bit up in the air. I kind of mentioned this in my video that I just uploaded a little while ago before jumping on with you, that we just have to watch things pretty closely. I don't see things turning bearish, even if we do get a deeper correction in market wide. But the narrative will definitely be bearish.
All right, stop talking. You can't keep talking, man. They got to pay for that. The viewers got to pay for that. There's Landy. Okay, he's a secret operative for the Charlie Indigo Alpha Agency out of Virginia, out of Langley, Virginia. He also does subcontractor work. Who is that? BlackRock, right? Yeah, subcontractor work for BlackRock. Okay, so we're able to get him. That's why you don't see his face. We got to keep him a top secret. But if you want more, you got to cough up them pennies. This was the Friday night recap. Shout out to David Gokhshtein. Shout out to Leslie. Great broadcast. Thank you for hanging out with me, Landy. You are appreciated. Shout out to the JNN family. We appreciate you. Shout out to the chat. W's in the chat. I'm out of here, man. I'm going to go smack some chunky Latino on the booty. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. Go kiss your kids. Go kiss your mama. Just not with the same mouth you kiss these whores.
Hello, friends. You're probably wondering, what is David holding right now? I'm holding Apu Apustaja, the most used meme on the internet. But it's not just a meme coin. It's a community with real friends. Friends who have uncontrollable fun together. Friends who have unconditional love for each other. And friends who rally behind the frog 24/7. Because who would choose to win alone in life when you can win with all your friends?
Easy been a vibe, no rehearsing. Pepe still broke, yeah, that burden ain't worth it. Now I move smooth, money making while I sleep. They watch charts, I watch wealth grow deep. Peasy the wave, now they all wanna leap. Pepe in the drive-thru, still counting receipts. From the bottom, now I'm sitting on a throne. Told my mama, don't you worry, we been grown. Pepe clocking in, I just let the money grow.